Brother in Land, Robert Swindells. Act 1, Scene 1. The shop. Members of the Shadow Chorus brings on a shop counter. Danny, off. It was really hot and the last week of school before the summer holidays. Mum and Dad were in the shop, doing their usual sort of thing, serving, moaning about stuff. Richard and Mary Lodge appear behind the counter. Mrs. Troy is also in the shop with her 5-year-old son, Craig. Craig is impatient to go and kicks the counter. Mrs. Troy, it's an outrage though, isn't it, Mary? Mary, the price of progress, love. Mrs. Troy, I hate them places. You can never find what you want and you always end up buying more than you mean to. Richard, you can do that here if you like. Mrs. Troy, I won't be flocking to no supermarket, that's for sure. Mary, that's very sweet of you, Mrs. Troy. Mrs. Troy to Craig, pack it in, Craig, you'll scuff your shoes. To Richard, have you got any big bottled waters, love? Richard, only small ones, sorry. Mrs. Troy, they said to get big ones on the tally. Just in case. Mary, it'll all be over in a couple of weeks. Richard, I wouldn't be so sure. Mrs. Troy, there wouldn't be any war if them in charge had to go and fight in him. Danny, off. No! Danny runs on, clutching a Game Boy. Ben follows him. You broke it, you little sod. Richard, less of that, thank you. Ben, I didn't. It fell. Danny, fell out of your hands more like. Mary, I'm sure it was just an accident, Danny. Danny, he's one big accident. Richard, that's enough. Mary, are you ready for school, Ben? Ben shakes his head. Richard, I'll get his stuff. To Danny, you can carry that crate into the cellar. Danny, why me? Richard, because. Now shift it. Danny exits with the crate but isn't happy about it. Craig starts kicking again. Mrs. Troy, I don't suppose you've seen old Kershaw, have you, Mary? Mary, not for a while. Mrs. Troy, funny that. To Craig, oi! Craig stops kicking and starts yawning and sighing instead. There's been all sorts going on up at that farm of his. Dirty great lorries toing and froing till all hours. You must have heard them. Mary, it's been quite up there for the past couple of weeks. Mrs. Troy, precisely. Mary, you don't think something's happened to him, do you? Mrs. Troy, who's to say? He might be perfectly fine. Pause. Then again, he could be lying dead for all we know. Mary, I hope he's all right. Mrs. Troy, come on, Craig, we can't hang around all day. See you later, Mary, love. Mary kisses Ben as Craig and Mrs. Troy leave the shop. A bell tinkles as they exit. Mary, you could have let her have one of the big bottles, Richard. That's enough to sink a battleship down there. Richard, 14 gallons to be exact. Danny comes back into the shop, furiously brushing himself down. Any spiders on me, ma'am? Mary, no, son. Danny, to the audience, I hate that cellar. Richard, that might save your life one day, son. Danny, to the audience, indicating each of his parents in turn. This is my dad, the most miserable man in existence. This is my mom. She's okay. The only thing wrong with my mom is that she made my little brother. He's the squirt you just saw. Danny picks up his school bag and leaves the shop. He stops just outside the door. This is Skipley, the most boring place in the known universe. Andrew enters, and this is my best mate, Andy. Andrew. Now then, Danny, how things? Andrew, rubbish as usual. Danny, tongue in the cheek. Andy loves Skipley too. They start to play conkers. Andrew, Rhodes is doing that talk in assembly morning. We've got him right up to first break. Doesn't get much worse than that, does it, mate? Danny, wanna bet? I've got a dirty great history test all afternoon. If there's one thing I hate more than roads, it's history. They leave.